Arcade Perfect, my Arse.
Okay guys, welcome to another Arcade Perfect My Arse. This week's game is Super Monaco Grand Prix, released by Sega in 1989 I think it was. And is it going to tell me? Yep, there we go, 1989. Hopefully this will work with the trackball. Yay, it does. Obviously this game would have been one of these steering wheel jobbies. Now I don't remember ever playing this in the arcade. I'm sure I saw it, and I'm sure it had a sort of one of these big sit down kind of cabinet things similar to Outrun. Well, I don't think it was ever hydraulic. Now you're probably, if you're under a certain age, you're probably looking at this thinking the graphics look total shite. But back in 1989 guys, this was really, you know, this was really out there. It was so fast. You know, you have to try and remember the games that we were used to playing were all wee flat sprite 2D sprite based games, and something like this just looked incredible, especially on a big massive screen. I must admit, even now it still plays rather nicely. Yeah, the polygons look a bit flat, then that's because they were flat. There's certainly a nice impression of speed, and it's quite smart when the other cars go flying past you. I'm sure it would have been a bit easier using a steering wheel rather than a trackball. But I'm guessing the trackball is going to give a bit more precise movement than a joystick. Oh, flicky! A little nod to the cat-tastic game. But hey, there's Flicky there! Excellent. Let's go for one, we'll go with that. It needs to be the easy one again. If I could just not hit the sides, I might do better. Ah, bollocks. Whoops, what happened there? Hey, 14th. Or should I say second last? So it sounds quite impressive, even now. And the mirror effect's pretty smart. Woof! No, I can always remember seeing that. It's quite an impressive sort of crash, spinning around like that. Ah well, game over. It's brutally hard. There's Flicky again. Anyway guys, this is Super Monaco GP. Let's go and take a look at some home versions. Okay, this is Super Monaco and this is on the Gamegear. I've actually played this with my MAME cab. How do we start? Let's go. Let's go for Grand Prix. It's even giving you the option to tweak the settings. Whoa! Now you know what? Right away, I'm quite impressed with this. I mean, I know the Gamegear apparently, and I could be talking rubbish, is almost identical hardware-wise to the Master System. I don't know whether it's more powerful or not. But because of the so basically what used to happen was every Gamegear game was just a port of the Master System. But what they've done for the Master System version, as you've probably already seen, if you haven't just skipped the video straight to here, is they went for a 2-player mode. Now, one thing that I did say, it would actually benefit being full screen for one player, and because this is obviously on a console, they couldn't have the split screen, so they've gone for just obviously a single player mode, and this isn't actually too bad. I've got to say, it doesn't really feel anything like Monaco GP. It could be pole position, but you know, it's certainly quick. Yeah, it's using little flashy stripy lines at the side of the road, but you know, who cares? It's fast, it's absolutely razor fast. Almost too fast. And I reckon this game would have looked quite smart on the small Gamegear screen. Yeah, the sound's a bit whiny, but you know, what do you expect? But this is actually pretty good. Oh! Big left-hander coming up, and a big U-bend coming up, and on to the finish line. Yeah, it's fairly basic. Graphics are quite basic, but like I said, this would probably look quite impressive on a tiny wee screen. And it certainly plays pretty well. It's fast enough, it's super responsive. Come on! Right, let's try and get to the end of this lap. Try not to crash. There we go, right, that's it. Hey! Excellent, yeah, that's actually quite a good version. That is the Sega Gamegear, guys. Okay guys, this is the last version of Sega Monaco GP. This is on the Commodore Amiga. Let's just move the screen up a wee bit, like so. Okay, now I notice you can actually use the mouse for this, which is excellent. Now there's slight kind of sound stuttering going on here a wee bit. That's probably just down to the emulation rather than the actual game itself. Ah, bollocks! Well, it's as fiendishly difficult as the Atari ST one. But it should be easier because I'm able to use the trackball for this one, so yeah, there's no excuses. Oof. I think with the 16-bit versions, the car seems huge. Now, one thing, I like the hills and the actual movement in this version in particular is excellent. Out of all the versions that I've looked at, I would say that this is probably graphically the nicest. And it's certainly it's got the smoothest update. Sounds really good as well. But yeah, I just want to try and nurse my way around and get to the end if I can, so we can see what it's like with other cars on the screen. Hey, 8th. My goodness, I was only trying. Yeah, slight stuttering on the sound there, guys, but that's just down to the emulation rather than the actual game itself. Yeah, this is really good. I mean, you can see how smooth the roadside obstacles come towards you. And the funny thing was, I was playing the Atari ST one with a mouse, but the trackball just seems to give it that wee bit more precise control. I'm not too sure why. I would have thought it would have been pretty much the same. Decent sound as well. Come on, let's get past him. Damn it. Oof, that was close. Now I notice I don't seem to be crashing, I just seem to be bumping off the side, so is it only in the qualifying lap that you do that? Not too sure, or am I going to speak too soon and spectacularly trash the car? Hey, there we go. Excellent. Anyway guys, listen, that is the last version.
Okay guys, this is the C64 one. Oops, a daisy. I do apologise. Right, here we go. I must admit, I'm quite impressed with the speed and the sort of fluidity of it. Everything's nipping along quite nicely. Alright, there's not an awful lot for it to do at the moment. But the weekend roadside obstacles seem to whiz by quite nicely. Ah, fuck 'em. Even the sort of the scaling of the was going to say the enemy, they're not the enemy, the opponent's cars is actually really nice as well. I quite like how the whole screen shakes as well when you crash. If I'm going to be Mr. Picky from Pixville, I would say the tyres in the car could have been slightly bigger. They don't look too bad like that, but it's when they're straight ahead they look tiny. I've got to say, this is actually a really surprisingly good version, even though it's damned hard. Come on, I'm desperate to actually wet driving. Oh, look how it's got dark. And it's got a nice big mirror as well, so yeah. Sounds not too bad, I mean it's... I've got to say, I actually played this earlier on, I actually recorded the C64 one earlier on, and unfortunately I had scan lines on, which meant the sort of screen capture software, it was almost completely black, so I had to re-record it. But I managed to qualify first time, and the funny thing was I was using an Xbox 360 controller, and this time I'm using an actual joystick, and I seem to be doing a hell of a lot worse. Just need to concentrate. Oh. Don't crash, don't crash. Come on, kind of far to go now. Please don't crash, don't crash. Hey, there we go. Okay, right, where are we? 6th position. Now, I've got to say, the sprite scaling on the opponent's cars, I've already said it once in this video, are pretty damned impressive, they really are. You need to remember, this is a Commodore 64, which historically is absolutely pants when it comes to arcade racers, it really is. Anyway, next crash, and we shall draw this one to a conclusion, I think. Let's just get past this car, I think then we'll stop it. Right, in fact, listen, that's 5 minutes, that's plenty of time for this. This is the C64 one, and it's a cracking version. Right, this is Super Monaco GP, and this is on the Sega Master System. How do we start? Press start button. One player. Grand Prix mode. Nope, let's just go for... Right, we don't really want to put in any names, so just... Let's call ourselves F. Machine set test, and let's just go for Grand Prix. Right, what's going on? Ah, right, okay, pressing the wrong button there. Right. What's quite odd is Super Monaco GP is a Sega game, and this is obviously a Sega console, yet they've chosen to change the layout of the game. I don't know why they've forced you into having a split screen even if there's only one person playing. Let me just shut up for a second and actually play the thing before I start talking. I mean, it's smooth enough. Let's see how the cars look when they go past. Now, the one criticism I'd have right away at this is the annoying road movement. All you've got is the wee stripes at the side, which is the oldest trick in the book to try and convey a feeling of speed. The actual road itself doesn't have any lines in it at all. Now, even the Amstrad and C64 had that. I mean, graphically wise, it looks alright. I think it would have been better had they actually made it full screen. Because if you're Johnny and Opals, then you'd be forced, you could only play with this game yourself, you'd be forced to only ever have half the screen, which is a bit disappointing. I don't know why they chose to do that. It doesn't really feel like Monaco GP, if that makes any sense. Ah, bugger. I was going to say, yeah, it's fast enough, but again, what sort of processing is the thing actually doing here? All it's doing is moving the sprite left, sort of alternating the sprite in the middle of the screen, and you've got the wee stripes. That's all that's actually moving. But I suppose that's quite a clever way of giving you an impression of speed without sort of taxing the hardware too much. I mean, roadside obstacles kind of move, not too bad. To be honest, I'd have probably expected slightly better for a Sega console. Maybe playing a two-player, it might be quite good fun, but I'm basing this on how it compares with this arcade original, and it's a bit bland actually. Yeah, it's just all a bit, nothing much is actually happening. Oh, listen, I've had enough of this. This is, yeah, it's alright. It could be better, I think. This is Super Monaco GP on the Sega Master System. Okay, this is the Amstrad version. It's got a nice little sort of title screen there. It's all very authentic looking. It's quite nice. Let's see, how do we start? Select player 1 controls. Let's go for joystick 1, I think. 2. Okay, shift, what's that? Gear up. Ah, right, okay, so, right. Accelerator, brake. Right, we want to go for automatic, I'm guessing then. Right, okay, let's go for this. Are you happy with controls? Yep. Okay, right, let's go. Transmission automatic. Get ready, let's go. France wet conditions. And it looks quite nice actually. Graphics are nicely detailed. Whoops. Movement's not too bad as well. I'm glad to see they've actually kind of got it's a proper road. The they've even got a mirror as well. This is quite impressive. Now I'm not seeing any other cars. Yep, roadside obstacles seem to kind of come to you fairly smoothly. I mean they're no silky smooth, but you know, come on, we're talking about an 8-bit machine here. And you know, plus the fact it's actually displaying a mirror as well, so that's quite impressive. Now I'll have to confess, I don't actually recall ever playing this game on any system, ever. I've played it very briefly in MAME, and that's been it. Never played it in arcades. In fact, I don't even remember seeing it in arcades. Was it a sit-down cab? I'm not too sure. Fatal crash, game over, let's go for one more go. Alright, so I'm just trying to qualify then, okay. But yeah, this is actually quite an impressive version on Amstrad. That's the thing with Amstrad, it seems to be arcade conversions, certainly the ones that I've looked at so far. They're either completely dire or they're utterly fantastic, and this is, I mean I wouldn't say it's utterly fantastic, but it's certainly more in that camp than it is in the dire camp. It sounds more like a bloody submarine rather than a screeching sound. Even tried to put in some hills as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah, things do slow up a wee bit when there's a lot on screen, when there's a lot of sort of road signs and that kind of stuff going in the corner. It's just a pity I've got to qualify first. I'd really like to have seen the actual other cars in the game. But anyway, listen guys, that's probably quite enough of that one. That's the Amstrad version. Okay, this is the Sega Mega Drive. Now, I've never actually played this game, but I do remember seeing a review, I think in Mean Machines, was it even on the cover of Mean Machines possibly, and I'm sure they actually raved about it. Now, being a Sega arcade game and this piece of kit coming out round about the same time as the arcade machine, and it being obviously a Sega console, I'm guessing they would try and make a cracking version. So let's batter on. Right, let's just go for Super Monaco GP. Right, what we're doing here, B class automatic. Okay, certainly the main sprite at the bottom's really nice and detailed. Got a good impression of speed. It's got the white lines on the road, which I like to see. None of this stripy nonsense at the side of the road. Ah, and got a good overtaking sound. Woof! Bloody hell, sir. Almost knocked the guy down. Good music as well. Nice and noisy, that's what I want to hear. It sounds pretty good. Now one thing you need to bear in mind guys is I'm playing this on a PC on an LCD monitor. Now this would have looked probably better. Woof! This would have looked even better on an old CRT telly, because you wouldn't get the sort of the blocky edges that you get on a monitor like this. Yeah, but this is pretty good. Oh yeah, the tunnel as well, really good effects. Pretty smooth updating as well. Now this is one game I think we can guarantee you'll not see on any Nintendo machine, certainly not back in the day, because this was that was back in the early 90s was when it was very much a battle between Nintendo and Sega, and obviously this would be one of Sega's flagship titles. Yeah, but this is an excellent version. I mean, the arcade's got pretty quite incredible looking graphics, and you're never going to get something like that on even on a 16-bit machine like this. But as far as home conversions go, it's pretty damn good. It's got a really good feel to it as well. Ah, bollocks. Am I racing against time here? What's ninth? Oh, ninth, that's telling me, right. I'm not quite sure that's constantly flashing. Hey, a bit of speech as well. There you go. That's the first version I've heard with speech. And it's also the first one I've seen that's got a little map as well, which I'm saying it helps, I'm not actually looking. What the hell was that? Apart from another car, it sounded like somebody shouting at me. Oh, come on. Very good. Yeah, this is pretty good. Quite enjoying this actually. You know, race games were never shot like shit hot on even 16-bit consoles because they required really polygons type thing, and these machines just couldn't push that kind of graphic about. But no, that's excellent. That's the Sega Mega Drive version, guys. Right then, this is the ZX Spectrum one. Quite good music. Now I see there that was converted by Probe, which did the horrendous Outrun versions as well. Anyway, let's see how to start this bad boy. Right, let's go for Kemp Stint, number 4. Happy with your controls, yep. Looks like one of our boobs is falling off. Our right hand boob, I don't know what's going on there. Stop tape, press any key, fire to start. Okay, there we go. This is going to be either brilliant or a pile of crap, and here's hoping it's the former. And I'm delighted to say this actually looks pretty good. It's got the lines in the road. Actually updating is pretty good. Let's see if I can qualify. Because the proof in the pudding with this game is really seeing how the other cars move on the track. let's go again. Again, this is one of these games, you know, I could just imagine the Spectrum programmer's face when he's waiting on a new job to work on, and the guy says, right, see that massive Super Monaco GP arcade game? Yep, well, can you write that for the Spectrum, please? You know, the fact that they even get games even running like this is a testament to these guys' skill. His only criticism with this version and other 8-bit ones is the cursed controls, holding it forwards, having to hold the joystick forward whilst sort of turning as well is never the easiest thing to do. But yeah, this is a pretty good version. It's pretty smooth, it's got a good sense of speed. But it's damn difficult. Anyway, listen, we'll probably call that one to an end. That is the ZX Spectrum. Alright, this is the Atari ST one. Music sounds quite nice. Control select mouse, sensitivity adjust. Let's just leave all that. Click a mouse button to start game. Right, max power, shift automatic, yeah, we'll go for that. Obviously we've got a bit of loading. Here we go, that wasn't too bad. Right, once again we've got the oops, bollocks. What? What happened there? Dearie me, that's quite unforgiving. Let's go on again. Yeah, you've obviously got the rear mirror as well, which is pretty cool. Let's try and not crash this time. So I'm going to not talk. Oh, bloody hell! One crash and you're out. That is horrendously difficult. Right, we need to go. We've only been playing a minute and 30. Right, let's go for joystick. Joystick, right, let's try that, see if that's any better. Right, see if we can last a bit longer. It's annoying, hold it forward to accelerate. I hate that control method. But it seemed to be the sort of favoured driving control of choice back in the day. Whoa! Right, you know what, I've had enough of that. It looks nice, but it's just damned impossible. Yeah, anyway guys, that is the Atari ST one. Okay then, that is the very last version. So let's see, to summarise, what have we got? Commodore Amiga, absolutely fantastic. Excellent graphics, really super smooth gameplay. Sound was excellent as well. Fantastic mouse control when I was using the trackball, and it was really sensitive, but not overly so. Gave you a really good kind of impression of it using a steering wheel, so really impressed with the Amiga one. Master System, it was alright. It was probably what I would expect for a Master System. I mean, decent enough graphics, fairly basic, quite kind of blocky, but the big thing for me that let that version down is it appeared to be there was no full screen option for one player. Now, maybe that's not the case, I'm not too sure, but I certainly couldn't see it when I was trying it out. You seem to be forced to sort of play as a split screen, which obviously isn't in the arcade one. So yeah, it's alright, not the greatest. Spectrum, as usual, monochrome graphics, quite detailed, sort of high-res graphics. It played nice and smooth as could be expected. A good sound as well, quite a decent version, and not too bad a frame rate. Atari ST. Now, I'll be honest, I kept crashing. I think I'd had 3 games of it and I just kept crashing, so I kind of gave up. I threw my toys out the pram and gave up with it. But very similar to the Amiga one. You know, nice graphics, it looked really smooth. Whether or not it's just because the control system I was using, I was trying to use a mouse, but it just wasn't happening at all. But it looks really nice. If it controls as well as Amiga, then I can certainly recommend it. The Amstrad one, nice visuals, good sound as well, really colourful, a really decent version, quite smooth as well, you know, super impressed with that one. C64, I've got to say, that really blew my socks off. It's fast, it's smooth, the graphics are decent. The thing for me that really impressed me was the sort of sprite scaling of the opponent's cars. I mean, you know, when you look at it, you think you're watching something like a console, not an 8-bit computer like a C64. The C64 is not, you know, historically it's always pretty poor when it comes to sort of driving games. Gamegear, that's not bad. It's full screen, it's super fast. Graphics again are quite blocky, but I was playing it on a sort of a 20-inch monitor, whereas it was designed to be played on a 2-inch screen, so I'm sure it would look even better on an original Gamegear screen. But nice version, it handled pretty well, and I says it was the sound was great and it was super fast. Mega Drive, that was excellent, really nice graphics. It's good graphics, good sound. It also includes speech as well, which I didn't hear in any other version. But it looked, well, it wasn't quite as good as arcade, but it's certainly a good version. So that is it, guys. Let's see, in 3rd place, bronze medal position, I'm going to go for the C64 one. I mean, the Amstrad and the Spectrum ones were both decent versions, but I just felt that the C64 one pipped them at the post. Better sound, it was smoother looking, and as I says, the sprite scaling on the opponent's cars was brilliant. So 3rd place to the C64. The silver medal goes to the Commodore Amiga. Just excellent all round, really good control, looked the part, super smooth. The Atari ST one looked quite similar, not quite as good, I says, but the control let the Atari one down. So 2nd place to the Commodore Amiga, and no surprise here, guys, in gold medal position, 1st place is the Sega Mega Drive. Fantastic conversion. Now, one thing that I noticed, this game doesn't appear to be available on any sort of, you know, console after the Mega Drive. So if this had been released on probably the PlayStation 2 or the PS3, whatever, you'd have probably got an absolute arcade perfect conversion, but it doesn't appear to be available, which is a shame. If you want to get the proper arcade experience, you're going to have to use MAME. But you know, you saw the thing running in my MAME cabinet runs really well. So yep. So that's it, guys. Yep, this is gold medal position to the Sega Mega Drive. That is us. That's another Arcade Perfect My Arse winds to a close. Hope you enjoyed watching it, guys. Please feel free to subscribe, leave comments. You can follow me on Twitter under Mamemeister. And as usual, guys, thanks for watching.